So hi Clíodhna, thanks for speaking to us. So this weekend is Erne Head and the crews are set to go. You were a winner last year in the senior quad. Can you talk to us about the race and about the course?
Yeah, so I suppose anyone that's raced Erne Head knows that it's a long, challenging course. And yeah, we were lucky to race it last year after a few years of not being able to race and things being cancelled and stuff. So um, yeah, I mean, we raced the senior quad, and so this is the fours head, obviously, so it's all fours and quads and stuff. And yeah, it is a challenging race. Like there's tough steering required. Obviously, in a quad, it will be coxless mostly. Well, for the senior quad anyway, I suppose the juniors would be coxed. Um, because I raced it before as well as a junior in a quad too. So I've raced it a few times, but it definitely doesn't get easier. I mean, the steering obviously is a challenge, but the length of the course kind of early on in the year is tough too. And yeah, there's a need for a sprint at the end too. So yeah, it's a good course though.
And what's the event like? I imagine like it's really good for experience, but what's it like as an event for you?
Yeah, I think it's a really good event. Like I mean, there's clubs from all over. Like being up in Enniskillen, it brings clubs from Dublin. I've raced it with Galway, NUIG, and I've raced it with Carlow. So it kind of brings clubs from all over, which is good. And then yeah, it's good to get good racing early in the year against a lot of the crews that you're going to be racing all year. So it's a really good event. Yeah, it's really well organized too. And it's often quite cold and wet, but it's always still a good day out. So yeah, no, it's good.
And there's a good range as well of kind of beginners and experienced rowers.
Yeah, definitely. I think yeah, like I said, I've raced as junior, so there's such a range from junior athletes to college athletes and club level athletes. It's such a mix, but it's really well run and it's always organized well, so it usually runs pretty smoothly. So yeah, no, it's a good event to go to, definitely.
And just a bit about your own background then, like how long have you been rowing?
Yeah, so I started rowing when I was 12 in Carlow Rowing Club. So I rowed there all through school, so through secondary school up until leaving cert. And I suppose yeah, that's where I learned everything and got a love for rowing, I suppose. And then from there, I joined NUI Galway, well, University of Galway now, for university, and I was there for 5 years. And I had a brilliant time there as well. And then yeah, now I've moved to Cork. I have a job now in UCC, so I'm currently rowing with UCC. So I've been rowing quite a while, but it's all been good. So.
And you mentioned there you were rowing with NUIG and you had a lot of success at national championships with them. Was it great to end on such a high?
Yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, like like I said, I've been in NUIG for 5 years and competing at the champs and other international events. Like they've always had great success. But yeah, particularly the past few years and this year in particular, like it was a brilliant showing for the club, and I had always been looking to win the senior eights, and that finally came this year. So it was a nice end to it all. And yeah, the club as a whole just did brilliantly and came together so well. So yeah, we were very lucky. Yeah.
Definitely. And now you're rowing down in UCC, as you said. What was the move to that new club like?
Yeah, it was great. Like I mean, like everyone is so lovely in rowing in Ireland in general. It's a small community, so you'd know a lot of the people anyway, and from trials and different races, everyone gets to know each other really. So I found it quite an easy transition that way. Everyone's so friendly and um, yeah, so easy to get on with and stuff. So it was a pretty smooth change. So yeah, I'm happy now. And the club is great here in UCC too. It's great coaches too, Sunita and Dave Farine are coaching. So and Martin Claban. So we're in good hands, I think. So it's great. They've got a great squad building up now as well. So there's good numbers too, which is great.
Definitely, and having Sunita Paspur and coaching and many of the national team being involved in UCC over the past few years, what's that like?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Like having Sunita, like with all her experience and everything, it's brilliant. Like, she's someone that I think most Irish rowers, well, would have looked up to, and she really paved the way for Irish female rowing, especially internationally and stuff. So I think to having her around and having her coaching is just brilliant. Like she's so encouraging, and she has such a wealth of knowledge and experience that it's bound to bring on any team for sure. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. She's an amazing role model to have. When you were growing up, then what kind of role models did you have?
I suppose, well, Sunita, as I said, but I mean, growing up like in rowing, I found most of my role models kind of coming from people around me. I suppose people in your club or people you're training with. Even now, I find people I look up to are people that I train with, and you see how hard they work and how they achieve what they achieve and stuff like that. And everyone on the Royal Ireland team at the moment and the lightweight double, although they're my friends, I look up to them so much, and all the hard work that they put in. And I know, like, I suppose with the program that her sport are running at the moment too, with the Do It For Her kind of campaign, like it really shows that like Irish females and young girls like really need to have visible role models. And I suppose maybe that was something we didn't have as much because things weren't as visible, so I think it's a really strong campaign, and I think it really highlights that there should be more visibility for female role models. So yeah, I think it's really important kind of to have that, so young girls can have an answer when they're asked that question, who is their role model. So yeah, I think it's good.
Definitely, and thanks for that. Do you think compared to maybe when you were growing up, you've seen an improvement in visibility for women in sport? And although like what we saw in that video was kind of, I was personally shocked, sometimes that they didn't know, who Katie Taylor or something. But do you think that there has been an improvement even since when you were maybe 11 or 12?
Yeah, I suppose in a way, yeah, but in also other ways, there definitely is more room for improvement. Like I know, like you mentioned, Katie Taylor, like that when she won in 2012, that was like a big standout moment for me. That like was kind of the highlight of female sports in my mind, which I was 12 or 13 at the time. So I feel like that was maybe the first time that I saw someone, a female, so kind of in the limelight, I suppose. And I think even still, like there is room for improvement. Like I know when Katie O'Brien won her medal just this year, there was a front page spread, and she was on the front page, yeah, but it was a tiny picture, and there was a big half-page picture of whatever it was, the men's soccer team, and they hadn't done anything. They were just deciding their team for next weekend or something. So I think based on that and other things, like there is room for improvement. And even looking at the sports newspaper, like all you have to do is open it to see that, and yeah, visibility it's such a big thing. But yeah, I think it still can be improved, and I think it is. So it is getting better, but I think there is still more room for improvement. I think on local levels, it's definitely got a lot better. Like there's a lot more participation, obviously, in female sports. And I know when I was growing up, there wasn't like women's soccer teams or women's football teams. And now my sisters, who are maybe 7 or 8 years younger than me, they're involved in everything, all the women's soccer and football teams. So it definitely is. It is improving and changing that way for sure.
Definitely, yeah. You personally have represented Ireland at an international level, including a win at under-23 European Championships and setting an under-23 world record. So what does that kind of mean to you when you hear that again?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, it's good. I mean, it's something I'm proud of, like, and representing Ireland is obviously something that I always dreamed of. And if someone told me that when I was 15 or 16, that this is what you'll do when you're whatever 22, 23, I probably wouldn't have believed them, because you set goals every year and this and that, but until you just do it, you never really believe that you would be able to do it. Even When I first went to the Under 23 World Championships, we raced in a lightweight double, and even being there was something that was kind of surreal to me. And then we finished fourth, myself and Aoife Casey, and like at the time it was a disappointing result for me, but looking back and even a week after, I realized, like if I had even imagined myself being there, I probably wouldn't have believed it. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's obviously, growing up, it's something that you look to do, but obviously it's the outcome. It's not that's the outcome of all the training and everything. But I mean, I really enjoyed everything along the way. So I think that's the most important part for me, because I know even you don't really talk about your wins and your successes. It's all the adventures and travels you have along the way. So I think us Irish people are kind of too modest to talk about our successes anyway. So yeah.
Absolutely. You also just completed your first marathon, and how was that?
Yeah, it was great. It was a nice change, I suppose. I mean, I've rode, like I said, since I was 12, and in the off season, kind of after summer, it was something that I had on my mind and I'd always wanted to do. So I set out to do it there in Galway in September, and it was a great experience. I loved it. I mean, I set out just to finish it, and that was my main goal, and I wasn't worried about pace or this and that. But as soon as I finished it, then I think I want to to better it again. So yeah, no, it was a great experience.
And how was the preparation for different, maybe preparing for a rowing race?
I suppose it was a lot more personal. I mean, I decided to do it on my own. It was something that I had always wanted to do. So it was a lot more kind of training on your own, and, having that motivation to get up and go for the runs and the long runs on your own. Which is something I probably realized that I rely on my teammates a lot, when training in the rowing. And anyone that trains on their own machines knows that it's so much easier just having someone beside you. So with the running, it was a lot different. But it was something I really enjoyed. I found myself in a bit of a rut after all the success over the summer and champs and stuff. So it was my way of getting back training, was to start training for the marathon and having my own kind of personal goal to focus on. So it was something I really enjoyed, and I would really recommend.
Super, and well done. That's a great achievement. And you're heading down to Skibbereen now this weekend, is it?
Yes, we're racing Skibbereen Head. It's on here in Cork, so racing that with UCC. So I'll be racing the senior scull and the intermediate 8 with UCC. So really looking forward to it, and getting some more racing done. Hopefully it'll be a good event too.
Super. Thank you so much, Cliodhna, for taking time to speak.
Not at all.
And best of luck.